Doesn't matter if it's diamonds or twine, I'll be wrapped around your finger. We were both drunk at the party when I told you that I loved you. I'll take my time, got every eye, baby, but I know, yeah, I know it's a matter of time till you walk back out of my life.
We're loving the song Chasing After You. It's Ryan Hurd featuring his wife, Maren Morris. And today we are getting connected with Ryan. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this episode of Connected with Kelly. So Ryan came to town in 2012. He's been a songwriter. He's put out his own music. To a T is still one of my favorite songs of his. But today we are sitting down to talk more about how this song got recorded. Also, what's been happening in their house for the last year. They've been home with baby Hayes. We're going to get details on that. And when we could expect to see Ryan out on the road. That's all coming up right now. Let's get connected with Ryan Hurd. This episode of Connected with Kelly is sponsored by Pickers Vodka, proudly made in Nashville, Tennessee. So Pickers is a tribute to the musicians whose sounds fill the air in Music City. Pickers Vodka is distilled 11 times from non-GMO corn, and it's gluten-free. My new favorite is the Pickers Unplugged Vodka Soda. They're in cans. They are only 96 calories, 0 carbs, great flavors. You need to give them a try. Visit pickersvodka.com to find out more or to order online. So tell me how everything is at the house. How's it going?
We're good. Just ready for summer and spring and ready to get back on the road. But it's been awesome to be here. And I think of all the years you'd have to be stuck at home, this was a pretty good one for us. Just with having a baby and being able to write some songs and work together. It's been a really cool, eventful year, even though there wasn't a whole lot to do.
I would say that is something that you're looking back on thinking, okay, that's a blessing. That's a huge blessing because, you know, you would have been out. How many dates would you have done over the year had it been normal?
Probably like 150. Maren probably would have done about 90. So probably would have been kind of in and out of, you know, I probably would have been there about half the days for Hayes. So being here full time was really cool. Just we haven't missed anything. So it's been awesome to see his first year, and we've never spent this much time together, me and Maren. So that was really cool too, to feel kind of normal.
Yeah. Is he walking yet? Because that's always the milestone that everybody wants to be there for.
Not quite, but he's
Okay.
almost. I mean, he can stand up a little bit, and he likes to scoot everywhere, but he's definitely quick. So um, but yeah, we really have enjoyed being here for all of that.
Listen, as a mom, I'm just going to tell you, if he starts standing up, just kind of push him back down. You don't want him to walk yet, because once they're really mobile like that, then it's game changer.
That's what everybody says. Like they're just gonna end up chasing him all over the place. But I already feel like I do that, so can't be much different. The weirdest part is he has no friends because we can't. Not that like a 1-year-old has a million friends, but he's been able to start playing with some other kids lately, and that's been really cool to watch him like kind of come alive like that and realize that like there's people his size.
Right? When he does start walking, I'm looking at the title, Chasing After You is going to be a whole different meaning to you.
I hadn't thought about that, but it's true. I mean, we're gonna, yeah, it's just gonna be a whole. Maybe I'll get him a tether or something like that. Like,
Listen, I was never a fan of kids on a leash until I went to Disney World with my 2.5-year-old when she was little. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I totally get it now. I see why this has to happen.
yes, that makes a lot of sense. We're excited for that. We want to wait till he's like 4 or 5, I think, to do that. But that'll be fun when we get to go do stuff like that. That like those kind of uh, those kid things that everybody has to check the box for. I'm excited about all that.
It's a different world, man. It's a different world. All right, so writing and being in quarantine together. Was it easier to find inspiration? Did you feel like you were just kind of on a wheel doing the same thing each and every day? What was that whole situation like for you guys?
For me, I changed publishers at the beginning of the year, and then the world shut down, so I was not only getting used to, like, a new team, I was getting used to writing kinda like this over Zoom, and, I think once you sort of figure it out, it's really efficient and fun, and quick, but it is hard to get used to. I mean, there's nothing super personal about making music over a computer, but, um, I think we've written tons of really cool things, like, over the last year, and I don't know. I don't know what it would've looked like if we were traveling a whole lot and having to come back. I think the one thing that we got out of it was we were never exhausted to write. Like, you always kinda run into writer's blocks, but if you're, like, traveling and coming back and then, like, writing on your days off, which end up being work days, just sorta you get so burnt out, I think, on just music, and so I think the one thing that we never really hit was that burnout wall this year. So I've written tons of songs and gotten to work with a lot of artists that I haven't gotten to work with before. Um, like I've written a lot for Lady A, but I just started writing with Charles for the first time in the last year. And then I've been writing a lot with Jordan Davis, who I think is a fantastic songwriter and an amazing artist and a good friend. And so I just like those moments have been cool. I mean, there's some new artists too that I've really enjoyed getting to know. Lily and Connor. I mean, just younger artists that are just coming up that maybe have had their first thing pop or are about to, and I've never really had time to dive into stuff like that. So, like, I mean, Lily's song "Villain," uh,
Oh,
just massive, and
so massive.
Connor Smith,
Yeah.
who's in this year, is just he's gonna figure it out. He's just an incredible writer. So, like people like that, you just get to invest in a little bit more because you're
Yeah.
not traveling all the time, and just really excited about, everything that we're getting to do right now.
Man, we could go on such a tangent right now. I've known Connor Smith for years. I'm good friends with his mom, and he is just such a talent. Like, that kid was so talented even as a teenager. Like, well, I mean, he's still young, but when he was like 12 and 13, he was writing songs.
Yeah, I tell
So
him every time we sit there that I'm still better than him, but if someday he beats me, I'll be okay with it as long as I'm still getting to write with him.
that's so cool. That's so cool. It in being in this situation.
His new stuff that's coming is great.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear it. And being in this situation too where you are such a prolific songwriter, you always have been, and then to have this song come out, you didn't write this song, right? This was Jerry Flowers?
And Brinley Addington, I wish I
Okay.
wrote the song. I mean, that's when you should record it is when it makes you angry that you didn't write it. Sometimes it's like you can't really improve upon something, and so, we're proud to, be the artists on the song and not the writers. I mean, not I think that the writers did such a good job, and I've had so many people record my songs without, from the outside,
Mhm.
where they weren't a co-writer on it, and I feel like as an artist who's had that, you know, privilege before, just, not being scared of doing it for somebody else is a big deal, and it's also like a respect thing, having enough respect for the song and the writers to just take it as it is and, you know Um, obviously, we have tons of songs we could release, but this one was really, really special, and it's something that we've always been really excited about putting our names on and our voices on.
So you recorded it in the basement. Is that where you are right now, where you recorded it?
Yeah, Aaron brought. I got a little vocal rig kind of over here, and Aaron, our producer, brought his big rig for from Aaron's voice. I didn't get that. Mine's just me sitting at a desk. But yeah, he just set up like his studio right here, and we cut our vocals, and it was cool. I mean, I think that's a lot like kinda how most music's getting made right now is through emails, and, I think that's one of the cool parts about, like, the resiliency of music and music fans is, like, even if the world stops, you still need to put something out there for people, and people still wanna listen to it, so just I don't know, it's different, but it was a lot of fun, and, the story's really cool for sure to, like yeah, you're looking at it, the birthplace of that song.
So, okay, I gotta ask this too. Is it scary when you do something that is so out of the norm? I mean, I know this was a necessity because of the times that we were in, but There has to be a feeling like, "Oh, can we really do this from our basement right now?" Or we're so used to going into a studio and having, this major equipment.
Oh, the equipment still comes. We just, uh, it's nice when you don't have to leave. I mean, I don't particularly love like working at home necessarily, but for something like that, where it's just something like a vocal or something like it's cool to do in your house, and it's not. It feels more normal now than it did at the start. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
It's weird to go into a studio these days. And I think that, like, people are always gonna find the most efficient way to do something, and this I mean, nowadays, we can make entire records without seeing each other, so, um, and it's still creative, and it's still amazing, and, but I think most of us are ready to get back to some sort of normal, musical interaction, that's for sure.
I want to talk to you about putting this song out because you and Maren have written together for years. I know that you both have written for other people, but this is the first time that you've done something like this together. Was there a little bit of a fear of putting this out? Like, do we want to do this in this way? Or was it you always knew in the back of your mind it was going to happen at some point?
There's a lot of fear for me because if it failed, it's definitely not her fault, and that's a lot of more pressure to put a song out with her on it, and, it's my radio team that's working it, and it's so, there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, but I think that I think that our label and our management team set it up so well that and our radio team that it kinda took all the pressure off of us once the song came out, like, we did all the work ahead of time.
Mhm.
So at that point, you're just sort of pressing the button and letting it all unfold, uh, so yeah, I do feel a lot of that kind of pressure. I don't think she does. I think she knew it was gonna be something special from the second that we heard, the recording, but, and she doesn't I don't think she really thinks like that. I'm the one who does, so, I'm really excited about the response. It's been really cool, and, I try not to get too excited about things, but just to have, the radio day that we did was so cool, and just wanna thank all of our fans that called in and requested our song on ad day, because if you don't think that means something, it truly does. Radio stations only wanna play stuff their listeners wanna listen to, so how are they gonna know? Um, but I just it's been really I've had a lot of success as a writer and even as an artist, even though I haven't had, like, a huge, like, number 1 hit, but to have, just a massive ad day and so, like, the streaming numbers that we've had, it is really cool and a little surreal for me. It's like I didn't even leave the house and some cool things are happening, so just really thankful for all the people involved and our managers especially just because they've worked so hard for so many years to have a big hit on me, and, it feels like this is the one, so just really excited for them.
It's funny, I'm from Indiana originally, and I can hear the Midwestern, like, you're tempering everything, like, tempering the vibe, you don't wanna get too excited about it, you don't wanna get like, that is such a Midwestern feeling. Is that something that's always just been there? You got that from your mom and dad?
Sure, and I guess, like, I'm an emotional dude, and I've had to, like, really learn how to work with other people without that being too big of an issue, so I yeah, there's a lot of things, but y I think a lot not just being from Michigan, but being in music long enough, you realize that any chance that something has to go wrong, it definitely will. Any chance that somebody has to not play your song, they're gonna take it. Um, and so you can't really count on anything until it's all the way there. But that's a good thing. That's how it's supposed to be. I mean, you shouldn't be, I don't think, given anything in this job because there's so many people that are probably more talented than me that would love to have my spot at Arista Records or love to have my spot at Big Machine Music and not that I wanna keep those people off of out of there, but it is true that there's just so much competition here, and I think the second that you forget that is when you start to get complacent with your writing and complacent with your schedule, and you start playing too much golf, and, I just really am thankful for, like, this time in our lives where we do get to work together, and it feels like all the puzzle pieces are fitting together, and, I guarantee you when it does if it ever does go number 1 or if I'm ever a part of something like that, that the Midwestern, temperament will be off. It'll be just mostly just like spraying Coronas all over the backyard for a week.
It's like University of Michigan just won the national championship or something.
That will never happen, but nothing unfortunately. I'm still salty on the basketball team. I'm a huge Juwan fan, and, they were so good this year and just caught a rough break at the end with, just went cold shooting, but yeah, if we I don't yeah, if we had a number 1 together, I don't that's my national championship right there, 'cause, it's one thing to be a fan of something, it's another thing to be, playing. So, and music is sort of where I get to be a pro athlete. So I'm just excited about, I don't know, the opportunity to work with Baron this closely is really fun. We've never obviously we come in and out of each other's projects and we do all of this together. And like I ride the bus, whatever. It's a definitely like a family band, but doing something where we're both having to have an opinion on something and not just in a support role is really cool. And obviously, we started out in a creative relationship and became something more. But to go back to something that's just completely creative um, is really special. And the other thing too is it's still not the most important thing. I mean, it's we don't wake up every morning and say like, "How's chasing after you doing?" Like honestly, like, we'll probably get an email in a couple hours that we'll both have to respond to. And if she responds first, I just don't because I'm like, "Well, that's the way it's going to be." So I don't even need to open it. Don't tell anyone I don't read the emails.
I'll
So,
edit that part out. So I have to know though, like the most important critic has to be Hayes. What is he like when he hears this song when it comes on? Is there some recognition that it's mom and dad?
I don't know if we've ever played it for him. I mean, I play him like the Beatles. I play him some like some like Maren's record, the first record, a little bit. I'm like, that's mom. I don't know. I'm not steering him away from music, but I'm not definitely not steering him toward it. But he likes to sing. Like you can kind of tell when there's a song that comes on. I was on the like messing with the boat the other day and turned the speakers on, and he was in there with me, and he was kinda, like, bobbing his head and making some noise, so you can he likes to sing, he doesn't know what it is, but yeah, I think he approves of, making enough money so that he can, eat his eat his pancakes every morning, that's what he cares about.
Man, they latch onto something that they love, and then you're gonna be stuck with that for a while. Just wait till they have a opinion about a movie. That's when
My niece fell in love with that song, she's 4 months older than Hayes, and Hallie loved that song "Mood" by, 24K Golden, and, there's some, like, some huge F-bombs in that song, and it's really amazing to see her just go nuts about it and be like, "Okay, yeah, this is." You guys didn't play her the radio version, you play her the one that bangs, I like it. That's the
rip the
one that
Band-Aid off. Yeah.
Yep, that's the one that she loved, so
That's hysterical. That is so funny. Something going back to something that you said, you guys have been in town for a long time, and I know you were here, 20 what, 2012, 2010. When did you come to town?
I signed my first deal at Universal in 2012.
Okay. All right.
I've been for 9 years almost, almost 9.
So in looking at that, how has the landscape of Nashville changed in your opinion? Because I've been here since 2001 and I mean I'm definitely around it, not in it like you are, but it seems to me like now it is more of a collaborative spirit and not as much as a competition, or am I wrong in saying that?
I don't think you're wrong in saying that, I think the biggest thing for me that's changed is the way that we write songs, I mean, we don't do I mean, there's not as many, like, full band demo sessions and, like, writing on it because there's so much more just, like, production in the room now. But I think, the one thing that's the same is the emphasis on songwriting. I think that's one thing that we, um, hopefully never lose, and I know that, proximity helps that just because we have Music Row and we have like, everything is so when it's normal, like, pretty close together in Nashville, so you can see people a lot and you can collaborate pretty easily. But I think, man, it's hard to say. 'Cause, the music industry is not the thing that's changed the most about Nashville. I mean, it's the tourism, which has really blown up, and the music industry is relatively, I mean, we've sort of figured out streaming now in Nashville, and that's a big difference. I think at the beginning of this, when I started out in 2012, that was something we had no idea how
Mhm.
it worked, and people were really trying to figure out how to stay paid because that the streaming stuff had really crushed our ability to make a like just a regular living if you weren't on the radio at the time. So now I feel like there's so many more like young artists that can make a go of it without a record company just because they have the internet and they have the ability to go like make a hit song without the help of a label. But I think for the most part, the thing that hasn't changed is the emphasis on great songs and the way that we write country songs still. So that'll I think that'll always be a part of our genre.
When you came here in 2012, like you said, streaming was like nobody knew what to expect. Is it going to go away? Is it taking over? It was just such a game changer. Was there ever a moment when you were like, I don't know if I want to do this?
The artist part or just music?
Both.
I still some days I'm like, I don't want to do this as an artist. I love writing songs and I love that game and I've loved collaborating with all the artists I get to collaborate with. But I think part of the reason that I'm a hit songwriter now is because I've gone out and experienced what it's like to be an artist and had some success and had some failures and so I don't know I think I have sort of a unique perspective on that. But no, I mean this is the only job I've ever wanted to do since I was 11 years old. Even if I tried to convince myself of something else, I really do love. I think just the privilege of making music in Nashville, Tennessee is kind of its own reward. I mean, these are the best songwriters in the world, and people move here from LA, New York, Atlanta all the time to work with the best, lyricists in the world, and I still think they're here. And so yeah, I mean that's not something that you ever I think outgrow. I mean, you might get I don't know. I guess in a year I'll have been doing this for 10 years and 9 or 10 years. And I don't have a backup plan at this point. I'm really, at this, I don't know what else I'm qualified to do. I can't, you know, I can't work Excel anymore. I'd have to answer emails for that too. So I don't know. I'm actually getting a little nervous talking about this because I'm like, what would I do if this all stopped? And I don't have a good answer. I used to do research after college, and I'd write surveys and do data work and statistics, I wasn't good at that. I'm wholly unqualified. Um, I don't have like a skill with my hand. I'm not a late. I can't build anything. I'm not good enough at sports to go play for the Cubs. I have no idea. I'm kind of screwed if this doesn't work. So, Charles, please record our songs, man. Thank you.
That's the best PSA I've ever heard. Kids, stay in school. There's a lot going on out there.
That's like, Hayes, like, guitar is cool, but do math. That's gonna
You know what's cool? Math is cool.
your algebra,
Business.
dude. Go like I don't know. Go like learn chemistry. It's a lot harder, but a lot better.
I love
Actually,
it.
chemistry, whatever, as a discipline, much more difficult uh, than music, but making it as a chemist much easier than making it as an artist. I think.
I think that's the wrap up of this entire talk is like chemistry is number one. And thank you, science.
Thank you, thank you for the shots and what Hayes. Go do that.
Go do that. I love it. Man, real quick before I let you go, tell me more about upcoming EP, what's happening this summer. Give me some plans when we can see you out on the road because it looks like things are starting to open up.
I don't have a good answer for either one of those questions. I wish I
Okay.
did. I have a lot of songs that I've recorded or am about to record that I'm really proud of, and I think that people are gonna really like. And it's fun when you have a hit song on your hands because your record company gets really excited about other songs that you have and what you could possibly follow it up with. And I don't know what the package is going to look like. I mean, I'd love to do a full album, but those are, you know, just a lot of moving parts and pieces when it comes to releasing music these days. And as far as the road, I think for the most part, I'm gonna wait till Marin goes out to go. Um, I'm sure we'll do some stuff, you know, throughout the rest of the year, but I think we'll just kind of press that button at the same time, just because I don't know when we're gonna get this kind of time again at home. Probably never, which is fine and good. But you know, I don't want to rush out after I've had a year with my kid and my wife. So we'll probably go at the same time and figure out what that looks like. But I don't have a really awesome answer for you. I wish I should probably get one, but that's the long way to say I don't know.
Okay. And I mean, I guess the bus is going to be outfitted for Hayes at some point, right?
Oh, we have yeah, we homeboy, we have a whole bus that's haze proof. It's got his bed in it and just waiting to go, waiting for somewhere to a reason to take it somewhere. But I think, you know, he's been on a tour bus a couple times. We've taken the bus, you know, to visit, to, like, go out of town a couple times when we didn't want to fly or something. And he's fine. Like, we are the ones who can't sleep on a bus anymore, just because you have to get used to it. Uh, and every time we'd wake up from like a pothole or something, and go back and see he'd just be out. So he's fine on a bus. He's gonna be a good little traveler.
Good road buddy, man. Well, congratulations on all the success. So happy for you all, and cheers. Hopefully, there's some good golf in your future.
There will never. I mean, I'm not good at golf. I never probably will be. But you know, there will be days that I play, and I appreciate them.
Thank you so much, man. It was so great to talk to you.
Thank you very much. You guys have an awesome one. Yeah.
Ryan Hurd. The song is Chasing After You, featuring his wife, Maren Morris. Make sure that you're listening to this song and asking for it. Like he said, when you request it at your local radio station, it makes a big difference. So, what is your favorite Ryan song? I still love To a T. It's one of my faves. You can put yours below in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Make sure you're subscribed and that you hit that bell. That way you'll know when we've got new episodes, and they come out each and every week. Until the next time, make sure that you are staying connected with all the people and things you love the most. Bye.